So I just want to welcome everyone to our webinar on the 3 strategies to optimize the customer experience using Canadian grants. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things today. Um, and I have my co-host here who will introduce himself very shortly, Salem. And Cal is he'll introduce his experience, but I think you'll really get a lot of value out of both his experience and the work that he's done in this area today. So if we'd like to move on to the next slide there, Cal. And you want to take over here or what we're going to cover today?
Well, thank you very much, Margaret.
Yeah, please.
Appreciate having the opportunity to be on screen and with all those beautiful people today. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 is as easy as we're going to go through this webinar. We really would like to have more of a conversation about what is digital transformation? Why do we need it? How we can get into it? And then what is the ROI out of that? So if we are getting into an engagement at large with digital transformation, where do we start? How can it proceed? What is supposed to pay off at the end of it? By way of introduction, Margaret, can you please provide from your side a little bit more about yourself? I know you have a lot under your belt that people can make benefit from.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so Marguerite, nice to meet everyone. In 2023, we're going to be celebrating 22 years in business, which kind of scares me because I don't feel that old. But we've been we've been in business. We've worked with hundreds of customers in the areas of growth marketing. We are doing work within digital marketing and digital transformation. And part of what we are going to talk a little bit about is how digital touches everything. Everything that has to do with your business and your business growth, it touches, and how important it is to really integrate in and invest in your digital infrastructure in order to really sustain and grow your business. So that's a little bit about me, and I'll have a chance to talk a little bit more later on.
Thank you. Well, my name is Cal Salem. I do bring in 25 years of advisory and consulting experience in technology and business. As part of my career progression, I've always been a pioneer in business leadership in terms of developing strategies for adopting and implementing digital transformation since its infancy. We do provide very experienced point of view and engagement in establishing, operating digital business models, meaning that we just look at it from a holistic perspective. And that being said, we bring forward what it takes for any given business to be operable as a digital entity, and also always paying attention to what your front desk, what your front office, your go-to-market strategies in terms of CRM are taken very well care of, in addition to making sure they are paying off at the end of the road. So with all of that being said, maybe this could provide us with a segue to step into what we can provide at large instead of just individuals, but as companies. Back to you, Margaret. Tell us more a little bit about GrowthFinder, please.
Absolutely. So GrowthFinder, it focuses in on the digital side of marketing, and we provide quite a few services in that area. We are certified as providers for Keep, which is a marketing automation software, for HubSpot. And, and we work in a number of different technology areas with our customers. So what we found over the years is that, those tactics are really important and they're very useful, but they're not the ones that actually drive the business. So you can do all sorts of different tactics. And what we spend time helping our customers with is understand where they should be investing their time and effort to get the highest ROI. Usually that means doing some market research, understanding where your customers want to interact with you and how they want to interact. So that's really our focus, is working with our customers in that way to do an assessment, to understand, to do some market research. And then we apply the tactics, and we get a much higher ROI for our customers that way. So that's just a little bit about us.
Thanks, Margaret. Let's complement the scene, because what we do at OPEXCELLENCE is collaboratively can be done with GrowthFinder, and from there we extend the journey towards establishing a path for growth as a strategy. And since 2015, when OPEXCELLENCE was founded, we've been working with the Canadian government to help emerging markets around the world, actually, to get on that path, in addition to leading organizations around the Canadian market, to get to a point of understanding how can I take advantage of digital transformation to work for me and not me working for it. So we do bring a wealth of experience through numerous clients that we worked with, very well referenced, happy with where they are, and continuing to grow with us. Digital transformation leadership is in every component of our services, and we offer it very strongly in terms of not just strategy at a foundational level and an operating model level, but also at a go-to-market level, including implementation of any required CRM, ERP, or systems that should sit in the background to assist with growing the business and realizing the return on investment any entrepreneur would put in. That being said, we are big promoters of digital workplace. And to that effect, I believe the pandemic has taught all of us a lesson about you can do your work from anywhere. And in order for you to do that, your business needs to be ready with a place for you to exist. So between Salesforce, Google, and Shopify, we can enable any of our customers, in addition to many other vendors that could become a player in a given strategy, which just picked a sample that are relevant to our conversation today. So for any questions, whether it's for Margaret or for myself, we're always available, and you will find our contacts at the end of the presentation today in the webinar. All right.
So, when we talk about strategies, and I think this is a great way to kick us off, right? Is to talk about where we are today and where we'd like to get to. So, we just want to ask people who are here, you can put it in the chat if you want to, or just raise your hand. What are you doing to keep track of your customers today? How are you, what system are you using? Is it a spreadsheet? Or are you using, a CRM system? What are you using? Are you using Outlook? How are you managing your customers? Are you keeping track of what's going on with them? Anyone? I don't see anything in the chat. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. Thanks, Ori. Using HubSpot. Okay.
Good.
Right. Okay. Right. So there's quite a, a spectrum, and that's something that we see every day. So people are using their Outlook. They use Google Mail and the little stars beside the Google Mail, to keep track of people and customers. They're using Excel spreadsheets, all sorts of different applications out there to do this. So I think that really helps, because then we can really speak to it, right? If you want to move to the next slide, Cal. That's great. Perfect.
All right. Which opens the door for us to talk about how do we truly take care of our customer relationship? How do we manage it? Let's look at what some of the firms out there did in terms of studies, in addition to our experience in this field. So 70% of managers agreed it has to all start from the inside. We have to bring in the technology to bring people and technology together in the workplace in order for a proper customer engagement to start and grow. Now, that being said, Forrester on the other side, notice that customers interaction grew on digital platforms and will continue to increase by 40%. Every single statistics of these is continuing to last until 2025 before it's updated with a larger number, I would say. On the IDG side, digital transformation accounts for 40% of all technology spending. Don't let that mislead you. We're not talking about money here. We're truly talking about reforming your technology footprint. Now, in terms of where we are and where we want to go, digital transformation, as it's used to be known in the past, is no longer the same. Right now, it's more of a behavioral aspect of any given organization to achieve their goals by reaching to their customers using cutting-edge technologies. But those technologies are not constant. What we have this year is not the same like what we're going to have next year. More is going to come up. Let me give you a very simple example. ChatGPT. Who heard about this last year? Almost none of us. I don't want to be speaking to anybody here, but it's just popped up and suddenly taken by a wave of adoption. Now, if we're talking about digital, then this is exactly what it means. We're looking at how we can continue to look at our business processes, goals, and strategies to improve workflow and customer experience. Customer experience being the key term here. So any given new technology that I can immediately take advantage of and use is not out of scope. And it does not overwrite what I have. What I have continues to be a foundational element of what I can adopt. Now, from an overall global transformation market, I think the pandemic continued up until this moment to be a big lesson for everybody. It was a pivotal point in the humankind history, and it is definitely a game changer. So as you can see, a growth of 26%, that is represented by $731 billion, just happened in the past year at the end tail of the pandemic. You can say the same about the year before and the year preceded, because everybody started paying attention to how am I supposed to conduct business if my customers are not allowed in? So even when they are able to reach me through an e-commerce platform that I have my products on, they're not even allowed to be able to pick them up except through specific rules. How can I quickly pivot and adjust and adapt my business to accommodate? As we can see, customer relationship is about a behavioral aspect. It's not really about the system, because what I can say here is I can simply tune and configure your system to quickly accommodate buy online, pick up a store, or curb pickups for anyone who's placing an order for my business that does not have a proper affiliation and partnership with a distribution company. I was not well set up for that. I did not see it coming. That regulation from the government popped up overnight. So what do? Well, if you are well established in terms of go-to-market tools, technologies, and flexible processes, it can immediately be done. And we've done it during the pandemic, as some of our customers immediately called, can you configure this quickly where my customers can go and buy my products right away from our website, come pick it up off of our curb and go home happy. In addition to, they can also return it the same way, or possibly, can we open a channel and we will work on the logistics to get them to ship it back if they're not happy with the product. The last thing I want to do is lose a customer over a product that is not worth more than $20. But the worth of my customer over years is thousands of dollars, multiplied by thousands of customers. Now we're aggregating. So you can see quickly how CRM can actually bring, and customer relationship management at large, it can bring quick understanding of what the customer actually needs. But from a digital transformation at large, we're also looking at a behavioral aspect that connects internal processes to external markets. And where do I want to go with my product and services? And how can I establish an environment where my team and my systems are all working together in order to make that happen? That being said, you're looking at accelerated digital transformation by everyone, and trust me, no two entrepreneurs would agree to the same term about what digital transformation really means to them. And that's fair. In addition to, they do have, as businesses, small, medium, even large, they have an understanding of what the customer wants and needs and wishes for. But how do I provide this in an immersive experience where the customer continues to enjoy working with us? What do you mean, Cal? Well, it's not just having a recurring or returning customer or business. It's really about them finding value against the money they're paying for the product or the service. We all heard about metaverse. Please participate through chat and let me know, do you really believe in it? And if yes, to what extent? Do you think soon enough we're going to be digitally shopping around, and like I would get into some sort of a 3D domain with my avatar stuck to my face, and I would look really nice and funny in there, and like I'm shopping for whatever, and my wife sent me to get a pound of tomatoes and come back? Isn't that possible? I'll let you in.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of things going on in the chat here. Yeah.
Well, perhaps some sort of an augmented reality. Yeah, we've done that augmented reality project already for one of the telco operators here in Canada, where you can actually see the product operating right in front of you when you put those goggles on. But were they able to scale it? Is everybody ready for it? That was the question. But to the point I was trying to raise, technically, we are looking at big giant companies already adopting this. It's not a secret to share with you that Walmart right now, and I think it's been already on the news once, they're establishing their stores in a metaverse. So soon as everybody's accepting the idea, you don't have to go to their brick and mortar. You can simply log on to their metaverse store. You can buy whatever you need, whenever you need, cash it out, and leave. We all remember when that touchless, personless, no attendant of any type has been in the Amazon store that they established back in 2017, 2018. It took the world by hype. Like, really? Can I step in, take whatever I want and leave? Yes, we identify you, we know who you are. You do have a digital identity that we can track, and it's not easy to play around with it, but it gives us a great opportunity here to tailor our experience to your needs and personalize our marketing, as well as make sure that we are continuing to deliver a really immaculate contactless solutions through digital payments. You see how it all comes together? Well, as a small and medium business, I cannot afford to put those systems out and afford contactless solutions and digital payments. And do I have to own each and every one of those? Buy now, pay later. Well, you don't have to. All you have to do is take advantage of them. So include them as part of what you do overall when you're offering your products and services. But then don't forget the most important part, which is automation and AI. Any repetitive business that you have, any repetitive process, step within a process that you can relieve your team member from doing and get them to focus on bringing more quality, growing business in the right direction, acquiring new customers. Well, let the system do it. Let them focus on what really matters. Some of which some of my customers are $5 million revenue through a 5-team member team. 5. Great results. Wonderful. Growth has been like rocket, exponentially getting them to a point where they were saying, I don't want to double the size of my team in order to double my revenue. What do I do, Cal? Well, automate. This way, you'll be taking off of their shoulder a lot of what they're doing right now. The system will do it on their behalf, and they will continue to focus on the market. However, I'm continuing to encourage you to include a proper balance in your digital human hybrid existence in your company. So keep measuring, where do you want to invest versus which results do you want to achieve? Now, to that extent, when we are looking at it, it's all about the digital customer experience. And that's starting from reachability. Do I have the right marketing strategy in place? Am I using the right channels? And are my services convenient? Are my products clear and easy to grab off a virtual shelf? And do I represent myself with the right strategy, right approach? Am I putting forward the proper pitch for each and every one of my customers in terms of personalizing my offers? Simplicity. I don't want it to become layers and layers of pages on top of each other in order for you to finish through a transaction. I loved it when Amazon back in the days introduced the buy immediately. 1 click, you're done. I love it. I want it. I got it. And on top of which, I always lead with something many people are familiar with, but I always like to refresh the memory about omni-channel strategy, channel flexibility. Do you have proper understanding of what your best channel for your revenue, where most of your customers are actually reaching you through? If you don't, it's a worthwhile investment to have immediately. Don't wait. You need that. It could be mobile. It could be your website. It could be your store. It could be in person. It could be through WhatsApp. It could be through phone, texting. Each and every one of those is a channel that you have to be aware. What is the value of this channel to me? And then look into what are the top 3 channels that contribute to more than 80% of my revenue annually. And now, what do I need to do about the other 3 that I can actually grow? And that's where we want to focus our effort. Sustain your business through your 20-80 rule, but then go to the supporting channels and try to grow them to a point where they become part of the 20, and now the 20 and 80, instead of being $1 million a year, now they're 2, and then 3, and then 4. And over time, your customers are acquainted with your ways of conducting business, taking into account how they receive from you instant service, seamless omni-channel experience. Their experience through WhatsApp as a channel is not the same as if they're accessing your online store. Yet you can have your business identified in both, but each one of them will have a different persona, different demographics, different target market, and a way of conducting business through it. And then that personalized customer experience reflects how much do you care, not just about your customer, but also about the image of your brand. What product you're bringing forward that suits what your customer is looking for through enough data that you've collected and understood and analyzed and invested in your system in order to go back with a relevant offering. These are the connected joints that you need to have in order for your business to stand up digitally and continue to operate digitally. Many people soon enough might consider those goggles put on their head to be the world that they live in. They don't want to step out of their zone, having the comfort of staying away from cold, heat, maybe a pandemic, whatever it is. We have to always be ready. But remember, this might become, in fact, it is becoming the preference for so many. Why should I go spend time, fuel, hassle, to get in a store to grab something that I can literally order delivered to my doorstep for less than $1. The cost of fuel to get there and back is at least $3 to $4 today. So yes, they are thinking that way. So when you're looking at it from an operator, from an entrepreneur, from a business management perspective, where do I start? I would say start with what really matters first. Define your market. Define your customer. Who am I working for? And who am I working with? And put that in a strategy format. Oh, come on, Cal. I know it all. It's like up in my head. I just want you to implement it. Yes, I know you do. I trust you do. I'm not contesting that. All I'm saying is you need to continue to engage the rest of your team and your partners like OPEXCELLENCE, like GrowthFinder, to understand what you have up here, in addition to allow the team at large to contribute to what that should look like. So be inclusive and bring everybody on board. I participated and led strategies where I brought focus groups of customers to sit to the table and contribute to the business strategy because they have the voice of customer that I'm missing here. So what do you want, Mr. Customer? What do you think is the best next step for us? What is missing in your experience that you want us to work on? 5 days, we ran 10 workshops of focus groups with customers at every possible layer to come up with a magnificent outcome. Oh my God, look at how the experience looks like right now. I'm shifting from 4.3 to 4.7 in less than a month. I'm closer to 5 stars right now because I included my customer into this. Now, bringing everyone on board is definitely going to put you in an agile format. Keep that as a habit. Every quarter, revisit your revenue, revisit your market, revisit your strategy, revisit your tactics, and take a look at your process. Keep it flexible. I don't want to say elastic, but I want to say fluid to a point where it can attain any direction the market is taking. Challenging times or great times, they both apply to business. From pandemic to war to recession, but people are still living, they're still spending, they're still needing my product and service. That's not changing, but in a different way. Maybe now they're a bit more price sensitive. Do I need to do something about that? They're more demanding on the specifications, maybe the size of the product, the content of the product, the packaging of the product. Are we environmentally sensitive? Are we socially sensitive? Is our ESG, environment and social governance, in place? Because people will also measure us against that. Once we've figured all of that out, you need to invest in your IT. And that's why it was the last statistics I presented on that slide, is that you need to invest in IT. Free licenses and trial versions of those great applications out there is not going to give you much of a runway to launch. It's only showing you that things can be done differently. They are not meant to operate a business that way. So once you put yourself on a track, I'm adopting this tool and I'm putting all of my effort into making it direct my business to the right channels that it should get to, whether it's an ERP, a CRM, an SCM, a management tool of any kind, a project management, a platform where you upload your products, any type of studio or outreach channel, a marketing campaign composer or studio, any of those tools, you need to have that under your belt. Don't wait. You don't know how to do it. Well, Cal, I don't have an IT manager. How do I figure out all of these things? That's why we offer managed services for you. Margaret, she can put together the best campaign that you can go with to market, including what you need to tweak here, compose there, graphics, and all of that underlying service is provided. OPEXCELLENCE can definitely take up putting together what it takes in order for that campaign to be stable, for those systems to support any volume of business, and the adoption by your customer and your employees combined from both sides, internal and external, is happening at the right time so that you're digitally stable, safe, and progressing with your focus on your business and growth. And from there, you define what success really means. That will happen at step number 1 and 2. Let's all together define, what does success mean in this process? And once we've done that, the rest of it is history, because we are professionals when it comes to putting this together, assisting our customers and working with you together to make it work for what fits to you. There is no cookie cutter here. There is no one size fits all. It has to be tailored to where you are right now, where your business is, where your market is, and so forth. Now, everybody's definitely caring about, okay, Cal, I invested. Now what? I'll tell you what. Don't wait too long. In fact, that's what I love about digital at large. It's self-propelling, because the more you invest in it, the return on investment is almost immediate. It's within quarter, it's within half a year. You will see that, oh, these channels are actually bringing business. That revenue, that gross profit I got from there, I don't want to put it in my pocket or in the bank. I actually want to invest it back in more features in my system so that I continue to grow. So that self-managed growth within digital systems, and because it's affordable, that's what makes it great for you to adopt versus classical systems that we used to have from the past. You can add nuggets of features along the way. You can grow fractionally. In the past, no, you couldn't. You have to buy it all. You needed to bring in possibly sell your kidney in order to get that system in place while you need it. Now, no, you don't. How? I'll show you how. When we work together through that strategy, we can have that roadmap dissected in phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And each one of them is financially affordable. Each one of them is business viable. Each one of them introduces an addition to your customer experience and go-to-market strategy. It is customer focused. That's what makes digital transformation different from any other type of technology out there. So yes, we can stand up some of those measures, I would say, for am I investing in the right CRM? And I don't mean the technology aspect of it. The customer relationship management behavior. Using tools like technology, like not necessarily only technology, meaning that target sales volume, is it reasonable? Is it accommodating what's happening around me? So did I look at for time per sale? How long does it take me? Which channels am I relying on? Contact center, website, my e-commerce portal, mobile app, number of deals closed per week, per month, per quarter, depending on the type of business that I have. And the more I gear my business towards offering services, possibly the longer the cycle, because it takes time to onboard the customer to accept buying the service, finding the value in it, and then time for the company to deliver the service, then time for the customer to realize the value of the service received. That is natural. So give it time, grow with your customer, bring them on board, and make sure that your sales administrative time is brought down to a minimal. How do I do that, Cal? Simply invest in automation, AI, let them do the repetitive work on your behalf, focus on your market. Lead source, where is this coming from? Omni-channel strategy, net new revenue. I didn't even know that through SMS I can get people to call me, because everybody's like flipping on TikTok or flipping on Instagram or spending most of their time on Facebook. Oh, but when you distract them from that by an SMS and they need what you're offering, trust me, they're going to return that call right away. Or you can follow up with that call, depending. Upsell rate. So we started on one step, we're moving to the other.
It's actually really interesting. Sorry, just to interrupt you really quickly about SMS, because I saw some statistics about the response rates for SMS, and it really is the highest response rate for your customers, way higher than email. So whatever the system is that you're using, integrating SMS into that system is going to get you a significantly higher return. So I don't know if you know what that number looks like, but I have seen that. We've started to do it ourselves. Um, just for reminders or just, hey, specials or whatever it is that you want to push out to customers. If they give you permission to do it, it's a great way to get in front of them. Yeah.
I totally agree. And I think that invites us to further take a look at for every possible value that we just shared together and looked at together. Start your journey with a robust, clear, strong strategy, knowing what can you afford, how can you utilize what you're buying, where to from here, and bring your team on board and take it to the next level. I think Margaret here has something great to share with us that we can all benefit from.
Yeah.
So let me pass it on to you, Margaret.
Absolutely. Well, when we're talking about digital transformation, it's so critically important. And, for those people, I think everyone here is in Canada, but the Canadian government has recognized that investing in digital transformation is just good business and really important to do. And so there are a couple of programs, one that we're going to focus in on here today, but there's some other ones that are provincially based to support any type of digital adoption or digital transformation projects that you might be looking at. So we're going to focus in here on the federal program. If you go to the next slide for me, please. This was launched in 2021. It's a $4 billion program that goes for 5 years. So we have approximately 3 more years in this program. And as we go through the program, there's two pieces to that program. There's a sub part that's called Grow Your Business, part that's called Boost Your Business. So we're going to focus in. I'll tell you about both of them, but both streams are designed to help you to take advantage of any type of project that you might be considering. So if you're saying, yep, CRM, I really do need to think about this, I need to involve it, these programs are here to support it, okay? And part of the reason I always like to say this, but I know this is true, one of the reasons why there's just such a focus in on digital transformation and investing in digital is because out of the G7, Canada is like number 7 when it comes to investing in its digital infrastructure. We are definitely laggards in the G7 for sure, and even in the G20, I think we're 18 or 19 or something like that. So this is what that means is that our companies are going to have a harder time competing internationally because we haven't made these investments. So these programs are here to support that. We're here to support your investment into technology to make sure you get the ROI, more importantly. If you go to that next slide for me, please. Yeah, the Grow Your Business really quickly, and again, happy if this applies to you, we can have another conversation about it. These are micro grants of $2,400. It is for companies that are customer facing. So anyone that works directly with the public. And it is it's a small micro grant to help you to develop any type of e-commerce or digital infrastructure. So it's really great if you do any of that type of work, okay? Again, CRM is included, any kind of e-commerce, any kind of work on your website. So if that applies to you, I'm happy to talk to you about that. And it's an easy application to get it done. Stream 2 is for companies that are a little bit bigger, companies that have to be over $500,000 in revenue and under 100 million. What they are focused in here is working with customers to do a plan. And this sort of takes a look at your entire business infrastructure, says, where do we want to go and how can technology support my business over the next 3 to 5 years? So the government is virtually paying for it. So they're paying 90% of the cost of that. They're paying for a digital advisor to do that work for you and sit down and really think about all these different pieces that we've talked about over the last half an hour or so. How can we do this? What is the gap and how do we fill it? the benefit of doing this, in addition to the plan, is that depending on your revenue levels, you'll get up to $100,000 interest-free loan. It's a government-backed loan for 6 years. So it's a pretty nice deal. If you are thinking about a digital project, this is a great opportunity to fund it. And then what they add into is an opportunity to get an intern into your business to work with you at no cost for 4 months. So they will connect you with one of the program leaders for that. These are usually post-secondary students, and you get to choose the type of student it is that you might be useful for your business. So if you see any use, if you go to that next slide for me, if you think either one of those two programs might be useful, let us know, because I'm happy to talk you through that, see if it's a good fit. Just a little bit of around the qualifications, just to let you know, on the stream one, that $2,400 micro grant, you do have to have revenues over $30,000, or at least one employee on payroll. Okay, so that's their criteria. And in stream two, it's the revenue one, and you have to have one employee on payroll and make sure that you're registered here in Canada. And really, that makes it quite accessible to most businesses for either one of these two streams, right? So you don't have to jump through too many hoops to get access to it. One thing I don't have a slide for, but I will speak to, regardless of the province that you're in, there are innovation type of grant programs for specific industries. We're here in Ontario, and through the Ontario Centres of Innovation, they have a similar type of program, but focused in on agricultural manufacturing industries, where they give a grant towards certain types of technology. So, and Alberta has it, every province has it. They do it slightly different province to province because, hey, why simplify our lives, right? But there's this federal program that's for everybody, and then individually, provincially, there's also access to different programs depending on your industry. So happy to have a conversation if this can support what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. Let's see, I don't think there's anything more. Yeah. So, again, this is our invitation for you. If you felt that this was interesting today, please do. There's a link here that we've just put into the chat, and happy to have a conversation with you about any of the ideas or concepts that we've talked about today. If you would like more information about the grant, please do that. If you'd like more information about, thinking through the technology infrastructure in your business, happy to do that as well. So I don't know if you have any parting words, Cal, but I think we are good.
I believe so. Thank you very much. I think that was very well informing and enlightening. So everybody, please feel encouraged to start your journey. It's not just funded, but also supported by great professionals and practitioners who assist you all the way through. And in addition, once you've opened that door, there is always additional help and support coming from not just the government, but also the local market, really admiring and standing by businesses when they are evolving. That being said, we would love to engage with any of you if it comes down to having a discovery workshop where we can put our heads together, assess where we are, look at where your business can go, how we can utilize every available program as well as every available expertise out there to help you grow your business. So take your time when it comes down to it. So please reach out to us. And we are available to any questions, so please feel free to ask. We still have a bit of time on our hands if you'd like to get into a conversation.
It's your opportunity. Get access to Cal. He's a busy guy. Get access to me if you have any questions about anything that we do, or how you can use some of the technologies that we've talked about today. I think it's you know what, we all have to do it, right? And we all have to think about it. And when you are looking at this, You need to find good partners to work with. So, we're just open to having that conversation. You could check us out and see if it were a good fit for you. If we are, then that's great. And if not, then that's also really good. At least we started the conversation. So please do. We're looking forward to continuing the conversation.
Hi.
So I think, yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. I thought I'd just try a quick voice
yeah, please.
chat here as opposed to in the chat box. First of all, amazing presentation. I think I really enjoyed and learned a few things about the digital transformation landscape. When I think it was when Cal was talking about the CRM database, I think the key point that is missing. I've worked in several companies where they've always tried and invested this amazing money into getting the best CRM tool. Is it's user based, right? So it's garbage in, garbage out type of thing. Very little is done to sort of maintain that CRM database. And I see both of you nodding your heads, but my short question to you guys is, what advice do you have for those companies who want to achieve the consistency so that this can actually be a useful tool and not this just very expensive, glorified, access database, if you will.
Exactly. Or a spreadsheet.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Cal, I think this is your area of specialty, so I will leave it with you.
Well, thank you very much, Aliyah, for asking this question. It is the most important topic of all. And that's where I started my first stat by saying it has to be a hybrid of technology and people. We have to bring them together in order for us to succeed. There are three components that you always look at in any given adventure, growth endeavor within a business. There is the technology, there's the process, and there's the people. Technology we invented. Process we put together. People is the part where you need to bring them on board by proper adoption programs of the technology and the processes that you just enhanced, harmonized, or even invented in order for them to adopt a new way of conducting business. And you'll find most of them are not receiving enough training, possibly did not contribute to the project by offering a perspective on how should the screen look like? Why is the order of these fields this way? Why not split it? You see little things that actually matter to an everyday hard worker who wants to sit in front of that screen and produce work. And eventually you'll get to a point of, is everything consolidated? Do I need to hop across 6 or 7 systems? Literally an experience I've just had with a customer who wanted to take advantage of this program, saying, I have 7 systems open on my screen in order for me to get one job done. And I don't know what to do. Well, that's where we can bring everything all consolidated in one screen. Your customer, you can see it from one screen, and everything you do will go in every possible direction. So that way, when you do proper consolidation, proper data management, most importantly, proper people adoption program of the technology bringing forward, let's not forget customer onboarding. Don't they also deserve to be trained on how to use our new way of selling? So if you don't invest in these things, you're right, you will miss on that boat sailing into that digital transformation ocean, and you'll get lost because your team is not really buying it. So work on your team, make sure that they get it, and then tune the system to accommodate their evolution. Step by step, I'd say start with baby steps, crawl, walk, then run. I was not born in a car. I was on that bicycle for quite some time before I got on a motorcycle. And then I had to hop on a bus maybe before I bought myself a car. So that transition, you see, this evolution in life is natural to everything. Why not to this? I hope this in a way answers your question. And there are tools and ways and methodologies and approaches that need to be invested, not too complicated, trust me. They come natural to us, but we just need to accommodate them as part of the overall digital strategy and program that we deliver out there, not to neglect them. The people aspect is the most important one of all, compared to process and technology. And I close by that.
Was that helpful?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I definitely understand the theoretical part of it. I think sometimes only when things are mandated top down, so to speak, does change happen. And if you don't have that buy-in,
Yes. Yes.
it's just a bit of a losing battle, unfortunately. You know, like
It
what Cal
really,
mentioned about consolidating these, you know, 7 different screens, that was where the most investment went in, right? Now you can see the customer, you can see the open bids that they have and the projects that you've done with them, and you can see who is it in the company who did the projects with them. But then nobody updated it, and so from, you know, 2018, it's just stagnant. So it's a great tool, but right? So
right.
Allow me to provide a point on that. Many people think is buy it once, it will operate forever. I agree with you there, Leah. It might be the perception of many of those investors from a business perspective. But it's literally that's why we call it a journey. We have to find those spots and times where we have to reconnect with the system. And as I explained throughout the presentation, you have to revisit your strategy and the ways you're conducting business every quarter, half a year, end of year. Take a look at your growth and revenue versus the systems and tools and the digital strategy that you're adopting. You must always revisit, including your team. I recall I mentioned that, but do I need to emphasize it further? Or trust me, without doing it, everybody will fall in that trap that you just discussed, that you just actually put on the table. Yeah, I got a new tool. Nobody touches it. 5 years later, where am I? Way behind, because the tool itself has changed, but I forgot to, or didn't want to upgrade to the next version. There's cost involved. Well, let's go back again. The steps that I put forward: invest in IT in order to accommodate demand. That's the way people speak to each other. That's the way people transact. So advisory and guidance to leadership is both ways. It comes down from them saying, here's where we're going to go from here. But there's supposed to be also a feedback from the team saying, this is how we would like to get there, and this is what we need in order for us to continue to progress. Again, people-driven activities and focus on business is the lead for growth in business and revenue.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're talking a lot about change management here, and the people side of getting people to really utilize and engage with the technology. And I think we could do a whole webinar on that, on the change management pieces, because you're right. In order to get the ROI, you can have all the great technology in front of people all day long if you want to, but to get people to use it and to really leverage the value of it, separate topic, right? That is really where we need to focus in. And I think you touched a little bit on it, Cal, but you know, bigger topic, very big topic. So thank you, Leah. Maybe we will do this because of you. We'll actually dig in a little bit deeper into some best practices around that change management. So anyway, with that, we are going to end today and say thank you so much. And we really appreciate your attendance. This is recorded, and we will be sending out a recording link within a day or so. So with that, we say thank you. Look forward to continue our conversations with you. And I hope you got some real value out of the time you spent with us today.
Thank you very much, Margaret. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you, everyone. Take care.